welcome back. Got a new hairdo. Just finished working out, feeling pretty good. My hair deflated just a little bit from the hairdresser, but got that like rose gold, like pinky, chopped her off a little bit again. I'm liking it. So in today's video, I'm just going to bring you up to date from the point of my surgery up to where I'm at today. So after I had my surgery, I did recover fairly quickly. I did take a few weeks off of work, but in my line of work, probably unnecessary. I do work from home, I type, so I do sit, but just that kind of like crunched up sitting wasn't the best for where my incisions were, so I just decided to, take a little extra time for myself, and I'm glad that I did, and I'll go into that in a bit. After surgery, I stayed on the Vyzan, and I was also on Dilaudid before the surgery and was still on it after the surgery for pain. I was on the long-acting Dilaudid at that point because my pain had gotten to that level where I needed to the way they explained it to me is that when you just take the fast acting and your pain is at a certain higher level, it only brings it down a notch. You can never quite get on top of it. So by using the long acting, I was able to get a little bit more on top of the pain so that I was more comfortable leading up to surgery as well as after surgery. As soon as I was done with the surgery, I wanted to wean off of the Dilaudid because of course it's not good for you to be taking. So I didn't do it following any doctor's instructions, which I highly recommend you do not do. It was a huge struggle for me, and that is why I'm glad I ended up taking some extra time off of work, because I ended up needing it for the withdrawals from the Dilaudid. They were bad. I was unable to sleep for almost an entire week as I was tapering them down, and I had cold sweats and body shakes, and I just felt like flu-like kind of, and it was not good. So I recommend talking to your doctor if this is the position you're in. Make sure that you're coming up with a plan to actually taper them down appropriately, because I did it in a matter of a week and it was not fun. So after I was finally fully off the Dilaudid, I could see how I reacted to the surgery. My pain did decrease significantly after the surgery, so I was super excited about it. I thought, probably it's going to take a little while for the pain to fully go away, because when you cut something out of your body, I think that takes a while to heal. But I was very optimistic that that was going to be the case for me. So I continued on with the Vyzan. I think it was just to prevent anything from regrowing as quickly. So as the months went on, the pain didn't go away as I had hoped. I was following all the recommendations. I am active, which is a huge part of pain relief. I was eating healthy. I was doing my my pelvic floor releases. I was trying to follow as much as I could, and still the pain just crept up on me again, and it started to get worse and worse again. So we talked about other options. I didn't want to go forth with anything further at that moment, because the next step was to put me into a state of menopause, and I wasn't ready for that. I just wanted to try something else. I just didn't want to go that route at that time. So what I decided to do was to try a plant-based diet, and it was recommended also by my gynecologist. It can help, and I have heard stories and done my research that this anti-inflammatory plant-based diet can help endometriosis sufferers to the point that they don't even need to go through with the surgery. And I was super optimistic about this. I was excited. I talked to my doctor about it. She was on board, and I just felt really good about this choice. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I go all in when I decide to do something. So as soon as I decided to do it, that was it. I was plant-based, fully plant-based, not just a gradual introduction to it. I was full plant-based. It was a hard transition for someone that, you know, ate a lot of chicken, and I would eat eggs every morning for breakfast. Plant-based was really new to me. But I did a lot of research. I bought a couple cookbooks, and I slowly learned from there some good recipes. For the first week or so, I think I ate the plant-based chili that I made. It was a little boring every single day, you know, for supper, chili. But eventually I did find other recipes, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, honestly. I was super optimistic that this was going to be the answer to all of my problems. I thought it was going to help my gut issues too with the IBS. I thought then my endometriosis pain would decrease, if not go away completely. I wouldn't have any symptoms. I would just be living the good life. And I did this. I was plant-based for an entire year. I did not see any improvement. My IBS got really, really bad, and I would highly suggest that anybody wanting to try the plant-based diet or the endometriosis diet, just if you do have IBS, take those precautions, because I really messed up my stomach and my gut, and I am finally getting back to a normal point, and it feels so much better. I was eating all the wrong things. I was eating very healthily on the plant-based diet, so it wasn't like I was eating a bunch of, you know, vegan junk food or anything, but just what I was eating was not agreeing with my IBS, and I ended up getting really sick and ended up losing a lot of weight as well. So I did the plant-based diet for the 3 months time in between seeing her, and then by the time I had an appointment with her, I didn't find any relief yet. I talked to her about my options, and at this point, unfortunately, it was putting me into a state of menopause. So there are two options that I know of for doing this, and it is the first option, which is a testosterone pill, and it is called Danazol. And then the second option is Lupron, which is a shot. I think you can get it in 1 month or 3 months. So I had talked to her about each of them, which one she thought was a better option. She said they're both fairly good, but I think the Lupron was a little bit maybe more effective in pain relief, but at least with the Danazol, it's just a pill. So if you have a bad reaction or something to it, you can just stop taking the pill, whereas the shot, it's in you for 3 months. So I ended up deciding to go with the Danazol. This is something that I actually regret taking. So I'm not saying that it's not going to work for somebody, and I'm not saying that everybody has this reaction, because why would they offer it if it's this bad for everybody? But for me, it was not good. So I was on that for 3 months in between my appointments with my gynecologist, and I had so many side effects. And the worst one for me was that I had already had acne from my hormones being all out of whack. And with this pill, oh Lord, it got so bad. It was all over my face was bad as usual. And my back got so bad. And back acne, I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but it is so painful. It makes sense. It's a testosterone pill. Why would it not give me acne? So, and that is one of the major side effects of this pill is acne, and it was really bad. So when I went to see her in the 3 months, I said, that's it. Like, I don't want to take this anymore. Forget it. I don't care. I want to go on Lupron. And it really didn't help significantly with, sorry, my dog. Okay, Yankle, you want to come up? This is my other dog. Yankle, say hi to everybody. He still thinks he's little. You're not little. But I love you. Okay, Nova. They all need to be here. Okay. So, anyways. So, I've lost my train of thought now. The dogs will do that for me almost every time. So, at that point, I didn't see a ton of relief from the Danazol. I would say it did decrease my pain, but it didn't get rid of it. So I was still unhappy about it. Plus the added side effects and acne and everything. I was just done with it. So I decided to get the Lupron shot, and our government in Canada will pay for 2 shots, so 6 months worth of the Lupron shot itself. You do have to pay for your own add-back therapy, and some doctors will only do the estrogen add-back, but mine did estrogen and progesterone, and I found the progesterone really helped me sleep. But anyways, I got the shot. I really didn't have any side effects from my first Lupron shot. I didn't have a lot of hot flashes because I was on that add-back therapy, and like I said, the progesterone really helped me sleep. So I was doing really good on it, and it only took me about a month to have the pain significantly decrease. And I still had a cramp in my pelvic area. I still had pain, and I had some bad days too, but for the most part, it really significantly decreased my pain. So I ended up wanting to get the second shot after my 3 months were up of the Lupron because it was working so great, and because the government does pay for that second one. So I thought, well, what's the harm? It's helping, and it's paid for. So why not? That shot did not go as well as the first one, unfortunately. I did have a lot of side effects right after the shot. You can get a lot of like achy joints, and they injected it into my buttocks, and so I did have a lot of hip pain and bone, like deep bone aching kind of pain. It's like kind of flu-like aches is what I would describe it as, and this did not go away for about a month. Unfortunately, it stuck around for a really long time. I was really disappointed with that, but I thought, hey, if it gives me 2 months worth of this level of pain, I don't care, whatever. But my pain started to slowly increase again, and increase, and I didn't want to get the next shot. Figured, what's the point? I'm pumping myself with this stuff. I'm in a state of menopause. You, of course, don't get your period. I hadn't had my period in a few years at this point, and I just was feeling like I needed a break from everything. I needed a break from the birth control, the Vyzan, the Danazol, the Lupron. Like, I just wanted a break. I didn't want to do it anymore. And the shot also wasn't paid for. It's $1,200 for the shot, so it's a significant amount. And you have to pay for your add-back therapy, which for me, it ended up being about $200 a month for the add-back therapy. So it's a significant chunk of change when you're contemplating whether it's worth it or not. So I decided to just stop everything. My gynecologist was supportive of this because my disease has not spread everywhere at this point. So it would take a while for it to develop and spread from me stopping all this therapy. So I did stop all of it. I had a pretty good about 3 months where I was kind of waiting to get my period and waiting for the Lupron to be completely out of my system and for me to get back to my normal. And during that 3 months, I did fairly well. I did have a little bit more pain than when I was on the second shot of the Lupron, but it wasn't as bad. Then I got my first period in, like I said, 2 or 3 years or whatever it's been. I've lost track. I was just reminded of what I had gone through before, but it wasn't anything new, so it was fine. It was after my period that everything kind of went downhill. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm in quite a bit of pain on a day-to-day basis again. I am struggling. I'm back at square one. I don't really know where to go from here. I am sick of all of the pills and all of the treatments and them not even helping to a state that I want to continue to be on them. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I am going to be doing some videos too on fitness and healthy lifestyle, how that came into my life and how it helps me live with this disease. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.